Hey guys, CUTTERUP Rob here. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the shorty. Getting ready to start ripping this thing apart. So for you guys that have never seen it, that is the truck that we were working with. And we're taking the body off of this truck and putting it onto that frame that I shortened, put different diffs in, it's got P-Pump 6.7 in it, blah, blah, blah. You can see in the rest of the playlist on this one. Anyways, I've been taking this truck in and out for like the last week trying to get other stuff done, but I decided I gotta get after it here because I need to get the cab over to Neil, a Canadian Auto Body next door to us. He's going to be doing the body and paint for me. I need to get it done. So I just proceeded to disable the truck so it doesn't move anymore. I just pulled the fuel tank out. So I needed this fuel tank, which obviously I'm going to clean it up, but I needed this fuel tank for the frame so that we can get on with doing some other stuff. That way we can get on with finishing the fuel system and stuff on this. I
have a fuel lab pump and pressure regulator for the truck. I, for some reason, couldn't spit that out when I was talking, so I had to put it in here.
For this thing, it's actually the pressure regulator right there. I was looking at where I was going to mount it, but nonetheless. But I'm going to get the fuel tank in there. I'm taking the drive shaft over tomorrow. I was hoping to be able to do a video of doing the drive shaft, but my drive shaft guy, Corey at Driveline Specialties, he's swamped. So to be able to do the video, I don't think it's going to be a feasible thing right now. So we'll do a video later, maybe when we do the tow rig, because I'm going to do a one-piece aluminum in that anyway. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'm going to take that over to him so he can get his guys to get the drive shaft done, because I want to get the drive shaft in. So I don't have to worry about it. The front drive shaft, I'm just going to leave out for now, just because I don't want to. It doesn't need to be in there for what I'm going to do with it this year. We're going to get it together. I might drive it if it hasn't snowed yet a little bit. If it has snowed, obviously we won't be driving it because it's snowing and I don't want to drive in the snow. So anyways, but we'll be able to put the fuel tank in. When we get the fuel tank in, I can get the sump and the draw straw all set up for it and get the fuel lines on. We'll put the brake. I still got to put the brake line in there before we do that, but that's not a huge deal. That'll only take me 10 or 15 minutes. Not a huge deal. But when we get that to that point, before I do that, the reason I started this video is I'm going to tear this truck apart so we can get the cab over to Neil, so he can get the cab painted. Because with the cab, I can basically finish the whole truck, obviously less putting the body panels on. I can basically finish the whole truck with that, as long as I have the fenders, the rad support, and the cab. I can get the truck basically completely finished. And then I can just put the other body panels on. So that is what we got going on right now. So I will be doing, won't be in this video, it'll be probably next week. One of the videos next week, we'll be tearing this truck apart, tearing the front end off, tearing the cab apart. Basically, I got to rip it apart so I can get the cab off. So we're ripping the whole interior, dash, all of that stuff's coming out so that he can paint it. I'll be cutting the windshield out, so I'll show a video cutting the windshield out with a windshield extractor. I used to own a windshield company. So owning a windshield company, obviously, I still have the tool. Well, I'm like that. I still have the tools for cutting them out. So I'll show you cutting the windshield and then probably stripping some of the stuff out. I'm not going to show pulling the dash out, I don't think, because it's really not that hard to pull the dash out, but maybe I should. And then putting it back in. Yeah, anyways, I'll put, it'll be in a time lapse to start with, and maybe I'll do a video in there pulling the dash out, just for you guys that have never pulled the dash out on one. And then putting it back in, I'll do the same thing. Now, me putting it back in versus if you were doing a heater core or something is obviously going to be a different story, because there'll be no interior in the truck when I put it back in, and there'll be no windshield in the way. But that will make it easy for me to film because there's no doors in the way, no windshield in the way. So anyways, nonetheless, I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. So what we will be working on the next, few videos anyway, we'll be getting this truck ripped apart so that I can get the cab over to Neil. As soon as I get the cab off, I'm going to start banging away at getting a bunch of stuff done on that thing. Hopefully the turbocharger will show up sooner than later for that truck, or for that. I'm hoping. been big delays because there was no parts. The parts that Weston wanted to put into the turbocharger he couldn't get. So it is what it is. Anyways.
So into the time lapse of getting this thing ripped apart. Obviously it doesn't take too long in the time lapse, but that was like a couple hours worth of work.
Hey guys, so this is going to be in 2 videos. It's in the video of me tearing the truck apart, and then we'll also be in the video, or a separate video for cutting windshield out. So for you guys that do know me, you know I used to own a windshield company. I learned a lot of things, so I'm glad that I did it, but it didn't work out. Anyways, nonetheless, I don't own it anymore. The business isn't in business anymore. So we're gonna cut this thing out of here. Now, let me grab the extractor. There's more than one way to cut them out. A lot of guys use a wire or a pull knife. This is what I'll be using, which is the way that most windshield companies are going to do it. Some of them just use a corded one, but basically it's like a Sawzall, but it's a short stroke. And you just use soapy water. The blade is not super sharp, but sharpish. And you just go around and cut it out. So on these ones, what we would always do, Olfa knife. If you're doing windshields, Olfa knife is definitely your friend. This rubber is super hard on this one, but it is urethane in, so there's butyl on the inside of it, or it used to be butyl. I don't know if it's butyl anymore, but I like to cut that off to get it out of the way. So you pull the door rubber out, which is a pain to put back on, but we're not doing that right now anyway. You just take the Olfa knife, stick it in there, and basically you just want to cut that rubber, whoops, and watch, because you will break your Olfa knife off. Make sure you watch you don't cut yourself, because it's super easy to cut yourself. Actually, if you're doing a lot of windshield stuff, we would always buy, like these ones have the little break-offs. We'd actually buy the black blades that didn't have break-offs in them, because you'd break them off all the time. All right, so I'm gonna go in there, cut that out. It's that easy. So that's pretty much as easy as it is taking it out. What I probably will do is, I would normally tip them out like that, but the whole front end's off. You're gonna take your Olfa knife and cut the urethane that's there down pretty much flat, but not right off. For this instance, I'm gonna take it right off because we're painting the whole truck, right? So it will be taking it completely off. But it looks good under there, so that makes me happy. It's not all screwed up. So, but anyways, that's how you take windshield out. Honestly, for me, where we are, I won't even be putting a new windshield in it myself. I'll have somebody come and do it, because by the time I buy the glass, it'll cost me the same to buy the glass as it does to install it, to have somebody install it. So, and then they can screw with it. But they're really not very hard. Maybe I'll ask them if I can video them when they're putting it in. If they're okay with that, then we'll video when they're putting it in. All right, guys, so this will be part 1, I guess, of the cab teardown, or front end cab teardown. I'm going to cut the video off there because I don't want the video to get too long with the windshield, pulling out the windshield. I'm going to leave most of that in most of it is in real time. So I will be tearing it's Friday. I'll probably be tearing the rest of the cab apart tomorrow, so I'll video it tomorrow. But there's, a couple hours worth of ripping apart as far as that goes in there. So I guess we will catch you on the next one. And remember, it's not rocket science.